Okay. I can't do this.
Welcome to our
Stop.
research project.
Stop. Okay, ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to our research project. Today we are comparing blackfish in SeaWorld and looking behind the scenes.
And I'm Lisa.
And I'm Maddie. Okay, these are very heavy and complicated topics that have completely changed marine theme parks, animal laws, and ethics over the last 10 years. It's a fight that isn't just happening in stadium pools, but in news, scientific studies, and massive corporation marketing companies.
We are talking about the ethics of keeping orcas, aka killer whales, in captivity. Specifically, we want to look at the direct comparison on how the famous 2013 documentary Blackfish holds up against what it's actually like to visit a marine park like SeaWorld today.
This episode is a result of the project where we first looked at how the movie tries to persuade its audience. Then we took a trip to SeaWorld.
Now here we all are, falling for the exploitation of SeaWorld and buying food.
To see the reality of these parks for ourselves. Going in, our goal is simple.
Yes, come here. Oh, you're so cute.
Look past the marketing on both sides and look at the real facts.
Oh my God, what's he doing? Oh, so cute.
That brought us to our main point. Even though modern marine parks have changed their image to focus on education, research, and saving wildlife, because of public backlash, the basic problem does not change. We are putting these massive top predators in small concrete tanks for commercial entertainment, which will always have a fundamental flaw that cannot be fixed.
Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to break down the strategies blackfish use to change public opinion. We will look at the physical toll of captivity, including collapsed fins, health problems, and artificial breeding, and share what we saw at the park with our own eyes.
To understand why this debate hurt a billion-dollar industry so badly, you have to look at how Blackfish makes its argument. The director, Gabriella Corpowait, did an amazing job balancing the three main types of persuasion: credibility, emotion, and logic.
Oh, let's look at credibility first. Usually theme parks defend themselves by saying animal rights groups are extremists who don't know how the business works. Blackfish avoids this completely. It doesn't use outside critics. Instead, it builds trust by interviewing former SeaWorld trainers like John Jett, Samantha Berg, Dean Gomersmall, and Carol Ray.
These people aren't outsiders, though. They wore wetsuits, cut up the fish, and performed on stage for years. When they talk about the hidden safety risks covered up by whale aggression, the deep sadness they saw behind the scenes, you would believe them. You aren't listening to an activist, you are listening to the people who actually held the whistles.
This trust sets up the emotional parts of the movie. The film shows highly upsetting old footage like the capturing of wild baby orcas in Puget Sound back in the 1970s.
In the film, former diver John Crow talks about the sadness of taking babies away from their mothers, saying, "We are tearing them apart. It's like kidnapping a little kid away from his mother." You understand what I'm saying? It's the worst thing ever.
What makes this scene stick with you isn't just its words. It's the sound design. The filmmakers turn up the background music and turn up the actual high-pitched cries of adult whales trapped outside the nest, combined with the dark, heavy musical score. It makes the audience feel instant grief and anger.
But this emotional argument doesn't last if they aren't backed up by facts. This is where logic comes in. Blackfish bases its argument on basic marine biology. It presents clear facts about how huge an orca's life is in the wild. They are highly social, smart animals, and tight family groups that swim up to 100 miles a day in deep ocean currents.
The logic follows a simple cause and effect rule. If you take an animal that needs that much space and family connection and lock it in a shallow, empty concrete pool for decades, you cause severe mental trauma. The movie uses this logic to explain why Telecom, a 12,000-pound male orca, showed violent, repetitive aggression that led to the tragic deaths of 3 people, including trainer Don. The film argues his aggression wasn't natural, but a direct result of being trapped in a tiny space.
While Blackfish focus on a lot of mental trauma and the trainer's safety, many scientific studies have looked at the physical damage of captivity to understand the whole story. We have to look closely at the 3 issues: collapsed dorsal fins, overall health and decline, and breeding problems.
Let's start with the most famous visual symbol, the collapsed top fin. In the wild, a male's orca fin can grow 6 feet tall and stand completely straight to help them swim smoothly. Data from marine scientists shows that less than 1% of male orcas have a collapsed fin.
In captivity, the rate is 100%. That's why you see so many in the orca tank. Every single adult male orca in concrete tanks has a folded and floppy fin.
And re-enter the water.
Marine parks used to defend this on their signs by claiming it's a harmless change caused by genetics or resting at the surface.
But physics and biology tell a different story. A 6-foot fin is made of tough tissue called collagen, not bone. In ocean, deep swimming and intense water pressure act like a natural brace to keep the fin straight. In a shallow tank, the whale spends 80% of its time sitting still at the surface, exposed to warm air and gravity without water pressure. The tissue loses its strength and falls over. It is a physical sign of a life without natural movement.
Oh, look at his fin. All the way back.
Aside from the fin, overall health drops in captivity. In the wild, orcas can live up to decades. Females often live up to 50 or 80 years. The males can live up to 60. In captivity, the orcas die before they reach their 20s.
Oh, that's really sad. The cause of death tells a clear story. The government data shows that captive orcas frequently die from severe pneumonia and blood infections because they float still in shallow, chlorinated water instead of diving deep in cold, clean ocean currents. Stress weakens their immune system.
Their teeth show a horror story too. Out of pure boredom and frustration, captive orcas bite and chew on the concrete walls and the iron bars of their pool. This wears down their teeth down to the raw nerves. To stop deadly infections, trainers have to drill holes directly into the teeth every day to flush dirt out with water streams.
Jesus. Then there are breeding issues, which is one of the darkest parts of the businesses. Since parks are no longer allowed to catch wild whales, they turn to intense artificial breeding to keep a steady supply of performers.
Because the group of captive whales is so small, this caused major inbreeding. Telecom was used constantly. He fathered over 21 calves, meaning his genes are in a huge percentage of theme park orcas today. Inbreeding limits genetic health, which leads to more baby whales dying early or being born sick.
Mr. Hernandez, imagine if you had 20 of your daughters.
You never know.
That's insane.
Like, you never know.
Armed with all the scientific data, we went to SeaWorld for our field trip.
Hey, faster, faster, faster.
Bro.
What we actually saw was a smart corporate strategy designed to change the narrative.
The change is hard to deny. The loud music and the bright lights and the stunt shows are gone. They instructed the performers to stay off to the sidelines to get rid of any public backlash against the orcas from past attacks. They also renamed the show back to Orca Encounter, and it's more presented as like a live documentary now. But we recorded a few seconds of the presentation to show you exactly how much they changed their style compared to the documentary Blackfish.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to SeaWorld's Orca Encounter. I'm James, and that was Corky, Makani, and Ikaika, 3 members of our killer whale family, demonstrating their incredible size, speed, strength, and complex learning abilities. These behaviors, they help keep our whales active and engaged. In fact, SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations of guests, and we're excited to have you learn more about them.
SeaWorld uses educational focus to defend itself today. Everywhere you look, the park highlights rescue and rehabilitation for the animals. Massive signs celebrate how they saved injured sea lions. Oh, those dumbass birds.
I know. Oh, they're so cute.
And sea turtles. And dolphins.
Aww.
They also celebrate your purchases towards the park, telling you that it was a way to save global wildlife. This also creates a strange conflict and thought in your mind. When you watch the trainers and you see that they genuinely care about all the wildlife in the park, the facts being read over things such as speakers are accurate and educational, displaying the fact and the idea that the trainers really do care. It's just the wealthy corporations that are greedy and want to take advantage of animals.
But the illusion breaks the moment you look away from the video screens and look down into the actual water. While we were standing at the underwater viewing glass, we caught a moment that completely shattered the park's corporate messaging.
See, oh, it should be on a photo of the dorsal fin.
No, it's collapsed.
Seeing that person really was a reality check for us. No matter how many millions of dollars are poured into the educational text, fake rock walls, or digital screens, the size of the tank still remains the same. It's still a concrete box. It cannot match the needs of an orca. The park changed the tone of the show, but they can never change the size of the cage.
Putting together the power of Blackfish, the sad facts about health declines, and what we saw at the park brings us to our final conclusion.
Public pressure works. Faced with the dropping stock values and major public anger after the documentary Blackfish, SeaWorld announced in 2016 that they were ending their orca breeding program. This means that the whales are currently in their tanks are absolutely the last generation that will ever live there. Around the world, things are changing too. Countries like Canada have also banned keeping these animals in captivity entirely.
Great. But as we look at the remaining animals, we have to challenge the main argument marine parks still use to justify their business. The idea that we need to keep these animals trapped to teach the public and inspire them to save the oceans.
Today, with high-definition nature documentaries, virtual reality, and advanced video technology, the argument that we need to see a sick and sad whale inside a concrete tank to care about its survival makes no sense.
Real conversation cannot be built on keeping animals trapped. If an animal has to suffer a collapsed fin, destroy its teeth out of boredom, and die young just to teach a human a lesson, then the system is broken. It is no longer educational. It is commercial entertainment disguised as a classroom.
SeaWorld's shift toward education is a step in the right direction. The future of marine biology is about protecting ocean animals and building open sea sanctuaries, not cement boxes, where the remaining captive whales can live out the rest of their lives with real space, natural currents, and actual freedom.
The era of orcas being used as entertainment is coming to an end with the last generation of them in SeaWorld.
Sadly, they're dying off. But thank you for watching this presentation, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you! Thank you!
Hopefully we get an A+.
Because this
Thank
took
you.
2 hours to film.
Yes, all right.
Gucci flip flops, fucking hit you, bitch. Gucci flip flops.